Now that we've talked about what a BioBlitz is and we've demonstrated how to identify some species, let's look around us here and see how many species and individuals within that species we can identify. So I'll show you how to keep track on your data sheet, and you can do the same with your own data sheet for your own BioBlitz. And we're going to keep track of the number of species, what they are, and how many individuals within that specific species that we see. And we'll keep track with tally marks. And since we're looking at the biodiversity of one specific area, we're going to try our best to only count individuals once. So right here, since we're talking about trees, we have a tree species that has short needles, kind of like a bottle brush, but they are arranged on the branch in a flat plane. So you can kind of pancake these needles right here and you're not poked with your fingers. So that is a characteristic of a white fir. So on my data sheet, under the species name, I'm going to write white fir. And under the number of individuals column, I'm going to put 1 tally mark to show that we found 1 white fir. Now, right behind the white fir is another kind of tree species that also has short bottle brush needles. However, they are arranged in kind of like more like a bottle brush than a flat plane. So if you put your fingers over them, try to pancake, you do get kind of poked by these. And this is a Douglas fir. So I'm going to write, again, under species name, Douglas fir. And I'm going to put 1 tally mark to show that now we have 1 white fir and 1 Douglas fir. To my right is another Douglas fir. So I'll write another tally mark next to the Douglas fir so that now we have 2 Douglas firs and 1 white fir. And this one right here has the characteristic puzzle piece bark of a ponderosa pine. So I'm going to write down ponderosa pine, 1 tally mark, and right behind me is another ponderosa pine. So I'll put 2 tally marks to show that we have 2 ponderosa pines. So now our data sheet looks like this. We have the species names in this first column and the number of individuals of each species in the next column. And you can continue this process around in your area to write down each species in this column and the number of individuals that you find, and then we'll show you what to do with that data afterwards. If you don't know the species name, that's okay. You can just write down a description in this first column that you can use to identify others that you might find of that same species later on. So go ahead and take a look around you, and we'll do the same. We'll be collecting some data on the species that we find here, and we'll come back in a little bit to show you what to do with that data afterwards.